Hey everybody, it's Kyle. I'm back. Now, it's been a while since you've last seen me on video because, I've been hurting for something to make a good video about. I don't really want to. Sometimes I do a rant about different people or things or items, and other times I really want to put something resourceful out there for people. And lately, it's just been few and far between. I've seen lots of videos on YouTube where people talk, and why are they making the video? It's just they're just rambling on about something, and yet they're putting out no good information for anyone. Anyway, my point is that YouTube can suck you in just like Facebook or anything else, suck you in and make you waste hours of your life for 30 minutes or whatever it may be, just like a video game or anything else. So let's try to keep this video to a minimum. I'm sure I'll do that this time. Now, I wanted to be on a cut. I don't really believe in bulking and cutting, but I wanted to cut my calories down and therefore cut my body fat percentage down. I haven't really accomplished that. I really wanted that to get done before my son is being born in 2 weeks. And so having my new baby here, that's going to be, that can put some stress on a person's body fat, whether they're burning or whether they're gaining. Anyway, so in spirit of that, I thought I would put up here, you don't all these new dads or whatever, or new moms. You don't want to. Well, I guess the moms might have to start over, but the guys, you don't want to lose your gains. You don't want to lose your. You don't want to stop what you're doing just because you're having a baby. You want to keep going to the gym, keep your stress level down, and use that time to get away and get pumped or whatever. Now, there's been a lot of I've noticed a lot of different discussions about how to build muscle and how to in the gym and how to build muscle on YouTube, how to build muscle everywhere. Everybody's talking about different ideas, different workout programs, and why they work or why they don't, or what's the best for them. And well, you just got to find the right program for you. And I want to explain something in this board here. I got a lot of stuff to explain and cover, so I'm going to get right into it. Well, it's not always the case that, well, you got to find what works for you. There's a science behind this, and there's a science behind the way the way a person's body works. And I'm going to get into that right now. Let me adjust the camera so that you guys can see. Woo! Get closer to the board, everybody. Yeah, I'm going to start talking baby talk because that's how I'm going to be talking in a few weeks. So, baby talk. I bet you're going to like that. Okay, so my dad, at the top there, you can kind of make it out. The Discipline Diet. Sorry, my book is not coming out until probably the end of May due to problems with the exercise section being so freaking complex. Okay, you may or may not be able to read all the stuff on the board. It doesn't matter. I'm going to point it out to you. I worked so hard on it, right? Okay, so how do I grow muscle? Now, most of you know how to grow muscle and whatnot, but let's just get right into it. 1 gram of protein per pound of lean mass is the bare minimum to supply 1 pound of lean mass with a pound of protein. I'm sorry, did I say a pound? A gram of protein, take it easy. A gram of protein per pound of lean mass. Dozens of studies have been done on this that even, not just bodybuilding.com and websites that are out to sell you a bunch of stuff, but lots of trainers and lots of books will recommend about a gram of protein per pound of body weight. Now that's if you're at closer to your ideal body weight, because what we're talking about is a gram of protein per pound of lean mass. So when they're talking about hey, you need to eat a gram per pound of body weight, what they really mean is, what a lot of the professionals really mean is, you should be at your ideal body weight and look amazing all the time, and therefore you should be eating a gram per pound. Now, really, you don't need to do that. If you take your body fat percentage and you subtract your fat from your body, then you need about a gram per pound of body weight. So you don't need to feed your fat. You don't need to, if you're fat, if you're overweight, if you're obese, you don't need to be feeding your fat extra protein, because all the excess protein that doesn't get used, you're either going to pee out, so it's harder on your kidneys, or or it's going to, through gluconeogenesis, some of that's going to turn into glycogen, and it's going to get stored either in your muscles if you're exercising, or if you're obese, it's probably going to get stored as fat. So you don't really want that. The other thing is only protein. I feel like do the dark Star Wars or whatever. Only through me can you achieve the power of the Force. The only through protein can you achieve more muscle. You're not going to get it through carbs. You're not going to get it through fat. But those things, those macronutrients do other things to give you the muscle. And I'm going to talk about that too. We're just almost to that part, actually. Now, what I really want to point out to people that people don't realize because they don't study weird crap like calorie counting theoretical models like me, like the Harris-Benedict model or the Sterling-Passmore models. Now, through this research, we can deduce. We don't deduce anything. It's proven. So 11 calories per pound is what the average sedentary person burns for a basal metabolic rate. Okay, and then 13.8 calories per pound of lean mass is what you will burn for a basal metabolic rate. So what that says, people, what that says is that lean mass, muscle, we're talking about muscle and bone and shit, that burns more than the average Joe or the average Jane that's out there not working out, that's sedentary, that's just burning 11 calories per pound on average per day for their basic metabolic rate. And then you got to factor in activity level, and then you got to factor in exercise level. Okay, all that's separate, but just talking about your basic metabolic rate, muscle burns statistically more than a pound of just average weight. Okay, they've done these tests and this is proven. Let's move on. Now that's good news, right? That's good news. If we're trying to build muscle, then our muscle's going to eat up more fat. It's going to burn more, assuming that you don't eat a lot more. Some people say, well, you got to eat a lot. That's a totally different video. But some people say you got to be in a slight caloric surplus to produce the maximum amount of muscle, and you got to be in a caloric deficit to produce maximum fat loss. Okay, that's proven. We get that. We're talking about how do I grow muscle, right? So you need 20% fat intake or more. On my diet, I recommend 30% because I want to guarantee that men and women get the necessary dietary fat in order to keep their testosterone or estrogen levels in flux and in check and at the right levels they're supposed to be at, so that they can gain the maximum amount of muscle in the shortest amount of time. If you have a fat intake that's below 20% on your macronutrient daily ratios, you are going to have less muscle building hormones and you're going to build less muscle per day. It's proven. So you definitely want to have some fat in your diet. That's the next thing. And then we move on to carbs. Insulin. This is what people don't get, because all these trainers are out there talking about, oh, insulin's bad and we don't want you to have too much insulin because that could be bad for everyone. That's not true. It's not true. Insulin does lots of great things for bodybuilders and weightlifters and powerlifters and normal people that get out there and exercise. Insulin is the hormone that, yes, it is responsible for heavy glucose intake of it, repetitive over and over again, gives you lots of insulin spikes, gives you lots of diabetes, right? You get the diabetes, you get the all that bad stuff, hypoglycemia. Sure, okay, great. But insulin also, if you have a normal intake of carbs, you're not eating like a vegan. You're not having like 80. I'm just kidding. Like 80% carbs. Okay, now you might run into some problems with diabetes. So if you have a normal intake of carbs, let's say 40 to 45%, and your insulin level is not going to fluctuate as much if you don't eat huge carb meals, but you just spread out your carbs a little bit into 2 or 3 different meals. Now, let's see. Insulin actually facilitates glycogen and helps protein get delivered to the muscles. What? That's great. So Why are people so scared of insulin? Because too much insulin makes you store body fat. It puts you in a fat storing state. The only funny thing about it is if you don't have the insulin, you don't have as much glycogen and as much protein going to your muscles. It's a fed hormone. It's a fed hormone. You're not going to get insulin spikes from not eating food. You get insulin spikes from eating certain foods. It's a fed hormone. It happens in a fed state. It's designed to trigger so that you can build muscle, not just store body fat. It depends on what you're eating. So, having said all that, all right, I'm going to check my time here. Oh, goody. A long-winded video. Never saw that coming. No, I'm just kidding. You know what? I'm going to shorten this video up. This is going to be the dietary video. And then my next video is going to be about the other thing I want to talk about, which is, of course, next video coming up is going to be how often should I train? That's a big question that I see a lot of times. This is what I'm talking about right now is more of a secondary question. How do I grow muscle? Really important though, right? So let's cover a few other things. Let's do that in the next video. All that's going to take up a huge fat video. Okay, so leave a thumbs up below if you like this video. It's a pretty simple, basic video. Comments about what you want to see next, if you want to see something or if you want me to do something personal for you. Subscribe to my channel and buy my book. It's probably coming out at the end of May, God willing. And my Facebook, find me on Facebook, facebook.com/kyle.osborne.7. And that's it. Discipline Diet coming out in a month.